This tiny little studio on this tiny little Greek island. Good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful, very warm, hot Friday. And I'm just coming into the studio, getting settled in. There's much to do. First on the list is Monday, there will be an exhibit in Thessaloniki. Um, in the evening. So I will be documenting that. I will go. Not sure how long I'm actually going to be able to stay there. I do have to get back to the island and pick up my daughter who is coming in on Monday night. So I'm going to do all of that all together. So an exhibit happening on Monday. And I have a couple of paintings that I'm considering to enroll in that exhibit. Probably, I think I have one. I'll let you know. You'll see it on Monday. And secondly, I have been thinking about this happy middle of the night from Texas. Hello, Brazen. How are you? I suppose you're not sleeping again, right? Another insomnia day, night. Sorry about that, but it's nice to have you here anyways. So here's the thing, you guys. My very, very first video that I actually uploaded here on YouTube was me sitting on the front porch and with my little Greek coffee and talking about snails that were on the wall, stuck on the wall. And I still don't have an answer as to why the snails do that, or what their, what their patterns are, what their, how it works. And I don't need to know. The thing about that video was that it really got me understanding how incredibly important it is to not have an answer to everything, to not flip the phone open and Google it and find the answer and then it's done. Okay? And I have been thinking about that ever since. In my day, when we didn't have instant gratification and instant information, too much information, just way too much information, we spent time wondering about, gee, I wonder why those snails crawl up the wall and just sit there for, a month or however long they sit there, and other things. And this is what we would do then is if you really wanted to find an answer, you would go and ask people. Maybe they knew. So communication with other people, real people, flesh and bone people. Then maybe you would go to a library if you were really, really interested in knowing why the snails go on the wall. And you would search out an answer. You would go through a ton of books, a ton of books, maybe just one or two, but you would certainly find other information that was interesting, if not relevant or pertinent to your level of being at that time. Today, you just flip the phone open, right? Google it, and there you go. You get a ton of things. You can get videos on it. You can get all sorts of things, which is wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. However, we do it for everything. We do it for the tiniest little bits of information just to get an answer. And that's the part that is detrimental to who we are as creative beings, as human beings, as minds that are wondering and growing and trying to experience. Oh God, am I a little bit? You could hear me for a little bit, and then I was gone. So my little green light is on again, and I'm not moving. You guys, this is summertime, and the internet gets slow. Too much going on. Too many people getting online. So I'm just going to keep going. I don't know if anybody's hearing me. I'm going to wait until I start moving again. The image is frozen. I poofed. Poof. Can you hear me, Brazen? Can you see me? What do you see? Can you hear me? Click a thumbs up. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just keep talking. So here's my idea is that as creative people, as artists who are developing and growing into our creative realm, don't you think that wondering about things is a vital element of creativity? To be lost in that realm of wondering. Yeah, no visual. That's okay. You can hear me though. So if you can hear me, we'll just keep going. And or maybe I'll come back and do another one later on. Oh dear, that's just so bad. It's just bad. Let me check. Hi, I'm back. This is the second day that this has happened. I'm not sure how I'm going to how to fix it. Just another tech problem. Yeah, Greek island internet, not very stable, which is why I've had a hard time doing live sessions with this painting. So if I do it straight from the camera, from my iPhone, it seems to work better than if I'm trying to use the OBS Studio, where you can actually see me mixing the colors on my palette. You can see the painting and the photo reference all at the same time. I'm unable to do that on the laptop. For some reason, I come out all, it's just not, it's just not good. So let me finish this idea of snails on the wall and the idea of holding on to questioning and not knowing. And do I really need to know why snails climb up my wall? I don't need to know. It is not relevant to my life right now. I've got so much information in my head. Anyways, I don't need that one. I think it's fascinating that they climb up the wall and there they are. And I have found so much joy in wondering about why they might climb up the wall and sit there. I have so much joy in trying to figure out how to do something without Googling it and watching a YouTube video on how to do it. Do this, do that, and then do that, and you're done. Sometimes it's helpful. It is right. Yeah. Hi, honey. Even with the internet, I have been pondering a specific solution. Okay, I didn't catch all of that. I'll come back and read it later, honey. So I am lost in wondering. I need to wonder and open up this area of my mind where I am searching and visualizing and putting pieces together. Maybe I could do it this way. Maybe I could do it that way. What if I tried this? What if I did that? Now take that and put it into painting. In this area up here is the abstract. It's where the creativity comes in. You get that inspiration. You want to paint something. Then what do? You start to wonder about it. How should I set up this still life? Should I do it this way? I could do it that way. What if I added this? What if I took that out? What if I made the lemons purple? What would happen then? That is being in wonder. That is opening to your creativity. That is nourishing your creativity. We have to nourish our creativity. We have to. We have to. Those are the coals that keep the fire burning. If you haven't got it, and if you're not aware of it, and if you're not feeding it, all you're doing is painting a lemon. And it's going to be a lemon, right? There's not going to be any wonderment, nothing to catch the eye to say, oh, why did this artist paint the lemon like that? What is it about this painting? It might look exactly like a lemon, to be like a realist type painting, and the viewer will look at it and say, that's a lemon. But there'll be something about the painting that makes the artist stop and look. That is what we are trying to embrace here. That is what I love to talk about and give to my people, all of you out there who are looking for the same kind of thing, right? And so that's why I talk about the notan so much, because the notan is up here in that stage of what if this, what if that, what is, the abstract realm of things. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So, snails on the wall. Do you need to Google everything? Do you really need to have the answer to everything? Just because the question popped up in your mind. If the question popped up in your mind, first, do yourself a favor. Try and figure it out on your own. Just play with it. There are certain things that you'll get the question, you need an answer right away, you Google it, you get an answer, and you're done and you move on. But there are some areas that need to be worked with, that need to be, that you need to play with, that you need to explore and open and fall down little crevices to come up and go, okay, cool. Come up on the other side and you turn and you look where you were and you're like, that's what I was looking for. But if you don't fall down into that crevice because you're searching and you don't know, you're in a darkened room and you're opening windows here and checking out stuff over there. You're figuring things out. You're free. You're abstract. You're not stuck in this little tiny thing of instant gratification and instant information to satisfy the question that you had. Play with the question. Let it simmer in you. I still don't know why snails climb up the wall. I don't need to know. I don't ever want to have the information. It's not something that I need to know. Eventually, though, okay, I'm sure I'll come across the answer. But do you understand what I'm trying to say, you guys? Do you get that? Sit back when you have a painting that you're putting together Do your notans. Do the notans. Play around with the ideas, the abstract idea of what that painting could be. How dark should it be? How light should it be? How can we create that abstract design? How can you remain up in this area long enough so that the pieces begin to drop into you and you're like, you, yes, that. So that when you get to the painting, you have a really strong sense of what you're going to do. You know your darks, you know the lights, you know the shapes that are coming together and the energy behind it. You're just there. You've got it because you spent time up in here, up in these upper chakra areas, right? You spent time there. So don't Google everything. Don't get an answer. Not sure how to mix a certain color? Don't Google it. Sit down with a limited palette and start mixing and see what you discover. Because by mixing, trying to mix, let's say, a raw umber. Let's say you're trying to get a raw umber. How can you do that with your primary limited palette? Well, by the time you get to something that looks pretty close to raw umber, you will have discovered 5 other things that you never would have discovered if you Googled it. You see what I mean? So the experience of you painting and mixing colors and figuring things out, the experience of it will greatly enhance your creativity. It will greatly enhance you as an artist. Not only an artist, as a human being. So sit back, breathe, take a breath, sit with it, connect with your question, connect with it, and explore different possibilities. Besides, we usually all come to different answers anyway. So there's, very few things that have the ultimate right answer, the ultimate truth, right? Take, for example, the idea of the warm and cool blues. I'll go back to that because for some people, ultramarine blue is a warm blue, and for others, it's a cool blue. Why? Who is right? Well, it depends on what each person's perspective is and where they're coming from. Doesn't mean that one is more right than the other. It just means that this works for me and that works for you. So we don't need to have an answer. We don't need somebody to tell us what that answer is. First, find what you believe, your answer, and then go ahead and search it out and see what other people think and weigh it against your experience and your understanding. So you guys, yeah, snails on a wall. Why do snails crawl up the wall and sit there for a long time? I don't know how many months. They're just there for a certain amount of time and then they're gone. So it just fascinates me. So I wanted to talk about that today because speaking with my friend the other night, and we were talking about something. It wasn't snails on the wall. It was something else, and I was like, "Don't tell me the answer. I don't need to know. Don't tell me." And she was like, "I'm going to Google it." I'm like, "You go ahead and Google it. I don't want to know." Okay, so because for me, it creates interest and I get to nibble on new ideas and understandings, right? For her, it was not something that she needed to nibble on or to wonder about. She just needed an answer. So she can go get her answer. I don't want the answer. I didn't want it for that specific thing. I'll want it for something else. Yeah, Ponder, that's another great word, right? Just let it go. I worry about these new generations coming up, and that the immediate response is to just Google it and get an answer. So we have all this information. Most of it is useless. Most of it is seriously useless. It's just just filling up our minds with stuff that we don't even need. We don't need it. Most of it is useless. And there's no space then. It's like cluttering up your home till you get to the point where you don't have any space to move around in, to dance freely, to paint without having to, jumble things around. And we don't need it. We don't need it. I hope you guys are hearing me. I hope you understand what I'm saying and what I mean. Let's keep the information overload to a simmer. Just go in and get what you need because you absolutely need it. If you don't really absolutely need it, let it go. If you need it the next day, it's going to be there. Google will have it for you. Yeah. So today in my little studio here, I am going to relax with my painting. When I come into some difficulties or some places that I might get stuck, I'm just going to think about it. I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to try and work out my own solution. Because if you're not working out your own solution, you're not painting your own original paintings, right? You have to stay connected to you, right? So with that, you guys be inspired, be creative, be you. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I will be back here on Monday. Take care, everyone.